This is the Daily Thunder podcast. Welcome back. We have lots to talk about. I am joined by Daily Thunder beat writer Brandon Rahbar. Brandon, I'm just going to open the floor and just let you go. You have a look on your face that says you have a lot to say, so go for it.
This was just ridiculous. I mean, the Thunder in their very first true, no doubt about it, absolutely, even the anti-tankers realizing, oh, wait, the Thunder are tanking. Like there was like a moment of realization when they saw that Al Horford, Lou Dort, Teo Maledon, Darius Baisley, George Hill, all those guys were resting, and they were starting Poku and Ty Jerome and Justin Jackson and Moses Brown were the starters. 3 G League players, 3 guys just recalled from the G League were starting. I tweeted out before the game, if the Thunder win this game, the NBA have to retroactively name SGA an all-star because he was basically the only, great player for the Thunder on the court. And they're playing a 17-17 Grizzlies team, and the Thunder win. It's just unreal. Like, I would love to know Sam Presti's thoughts right now. He's like, what else can I do? I mean, it's just a testament to how great SGA has become, to how great a coaching job Mark Daigneault is doing, and all these guys buying in and just playing really, really well. They had no business whatsoever being in this game, much less winning this game. Kudos to the Thunder for this win. It was impressive, but man, that top 5 pick, Cade Cunningham or Jonathan Kuminga or Evan Mobley, it's looking, it's like that meme of Wolverine looking at the picture. That's kind of how I feel when it comes to the Thunder and top 5 draft picks now.
I'm sure we'll go longer than right now, but we could end it right there. Like, that's pretty – we'll say exactly what you just said a few more times in a couple different ways.
Yeah.
Let's go to Poku because, like, he was kind of – I mean, he had a career day. 23 points, 10 boards, 4 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, and 1 block that seemed like 3 or 4. He seemed like he was all over the place in the paint in the first half. So full disclosure, I watched this game knowing the results, so I got to pay attention to a few things because I knew a few things going into watching the game. 5 of 8 from 3, 62.5% for someone that was coming in shooting 18% from 3. That'll boost it. 4-4 from the free throw line, was a plus 18 and a 6-point win. Like, pretty incredible day for the Rook. And I, knowing that Oklahoma City won going into it, I decided to watch on the Memphis broadcast, which is just, let me tell you, if you are living in the Oklahoma City area and you only get access to the Oklahoma City feed, my sincere thoughts and prayers, but also for the fact that you miss out on hearing a crew like Memphis just like they're so low. Like they're hitting such a low, and it's going to get even worse as the game goes on. Like, as they're coming back in the fourth, you just hear, so it's Brevin Knight, and I forget the play-by-play guy's name, but man, they are a lot. They are just a treat to listen to when they lose. And so yeah, it was hilarious. Like, knowing that they won, listening to them, it was hilarious. SHAI was fantastic in the fourth.
Yeah.
They looked dead in the water, down 10 going into the fourth. I think that's when Presti's like, this is working.
Yeah.
We're down 10 at home.
Yep.
And we know who's playing the closing minutes. Like, that's where he's got to think, this is the formula for what we need. And then their, dare I say, top 25 player in the league comes back in and changes everything. He was the best player on the floor again. And I know there's been a lot of Shea versus Morant talk, um, but this is 2 times this year where it's been, like, kinda obvious. The best player on for either team is Shea. He's the guy you want, and he's gonna make things tough. He's gonna make things real tough, especially against teams like this that are middling or somewhat lower than Memphis or Oklahoma City. Those teams I still think are gonna have a hard time beating Oklahoma City even with these guys on the team because Shea is so patient. Like, he's almost patient to a fault. These guys are all involved by the end of the game. They're all in rhythm. They're all ready to go. Anything that they would need to do, they've already been doing in the game. It's not like Shea's out there chucking up shots and then expecting guys to do things that they haven't been already doing as part of the game. It's very that is a thread that I think is I don't know very many young guys that can do what he's doing with a team of revolving G League players. He's he's willing these guys to wins, and it's like you're saying, it's a testament to the team and the staff, and they are a developmental machine right now. And I don't see how they yeah, I don't how can you bottom out with a player as good as Shea? He's a legitimate star and he's 22. And then you get performances today from Kenrich Williams off the bench. You get the ball moving around from Ty Jerome like that. Poku has a good game. Everybody believes they can win because this 22-year-old is just he's about that life. That's just what it is. He's about that life.
Yeah, I'll just say it. SGA is better than Jaw. I mean, he's just better, straight up. Period. And I'm a Jaw fan, and I think that anyone, at the beginning of last season, coming into the season, Jaw was number 2 overall pick. It was obvious early into the season that Jaw was going to win Rookie of the Year. I don't think anybody would have thought that SGA would end up being a better player than Jaw. And of course, this is still incredibly early in their careers. Things could change, but you look at the trajectory and you look at the kind of player that SGA is, his work ethic, his basketball IQ, his general disposition, and his attitude about basketball and wanting to be great. I see nowhere but up. And, you said maybe a top 25 player. I mean, it might be even better than that. I mean, it sounds ridiculous, but when you break down the numbers and the stats and the efficiency and what he's doing, it's unreal. He's led the Thunder to a better record than a lot of teams that are trying to make the playoffs with superstars, and he's doing it solo. I mean, yeah, Al Horford's on the team, but he's resting on all these back-to-backs, and the Thunder are just, like you said, just a revolving door right now of players because they're trying to lose.
Yeah.
And SGA is just too good.
Yeah.
And credit to guys like Poku. It's just so funny. If Poku has a typical Poku night that you expect from Poku, the Thunder probably lose tonight. As great as SGA is, but Poku going off for 23 points and 5 threes. I mean, Sam Presti's got to be like, Sam Presti, when you're talking about memes, he's like the, what is it? Who is it? Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Larry David.
Larry David.
Good. That's good. That's how Sam Presti's got to feel the entire time watching SGA. Because that's how I am. Because, I'm like, he's amazing. This is great. Wow. They're winning games they have no business winning because they have a true superstar that's 22 years old on the team. But then you're like, but what if they could put Cade Cunningham or Jalen Suggs or Jalen Green next to him?
Yeah.
It's such a missed opportunity. Not that it's a miss. It could still happen. Lots of season left, kind of. Trade still to be made. But you look at the standings, and I don't think the Wolves, Pistons, and Rockets are going anywhere. It's going to be really, really tough because those teams don't really have an incentive to win. They really have incentive to lose. So those 3 teams, you kind of feel like have the top 3 locked up. And then, teams like the Magic, it's going to be hard to pass the Magic. At some point you got to figure they might just throw in the towel. The Kings, we'll see. It kind of seems like they still want to win. The Cavs, it's just going to be hard. Yeah. SGA is a better player than any of those teams below them have. And as long as SGA is playing, and you can't really just say, SGA, sorry, we're just going to sit you for the rest of the season because we want Cade Cunningham.
Right.
That I don't know what they can do other than start 3 G League players and rest 4 starters, Ryan. What else can they do?
Literally the only thing I think at this point that could do it. And every time we've said the only thing they can do is blank, they do it and they win. But I think it would have to take like SHAI going down with some type of injury
which we don't want that. I mean,
right, obviously don't want that.
Yeah.
Even if they just said like we're going to shut him down, want to be extra cautious with something, like that's the only way.
Yeah.
We get tweets from Thunder Communications and we got 3 of them today. They only tweet, just for the record, they only tweet when something like something landmark happens in a game.
Right.
So we got 3 of those tweets today, all about Poku. So he set a record for a career high in 18 points. Then a couple minutes later, the youngest player in Thunder history to score 20-plus points, 19 years, 78 days. And then a couple minutes later, now the second youngest player in NBA history with 5+ threes since threes became an official stat, behind only. Do you know the player? Did you see this tweet?
Yeah, LeBron James.
Yeah. In 2003. So yeah, pretty remarkable day from Poku all the way around. And the guys on the Memphis broadcast were like, yeah, he's like a phenomenal shooter. We totally expect that 18% to go way, way up. Like Brevin Knight was like, his stroke is way too good for 18%. But
I'm glad that you said that, because watching it, I think a lot of Thunder fans like, he should be hitting more than he's hitting. And we keep saying he's doing a lot of things really well. His shot's just not falling, but we know he can shoot. You watch him, the form, the mechanics, the dude can shoot. Yeah. They just haven't been dropping.
Yeah. And I mean, they looked in rhythm. I think the more he plays with guys that are better, when he's playing with those starters, especially SHAI, the ball is going to find him in rhythm. And when he's more open than when he was coming off the bench, like the first play of the game, the ball moved and I think it was maybe Ty. Somebody got in the lane and bam, it was right back to him for a wide open look. And those types of shots get somebody like that all the confidence to get a few more. National media is not. They're not watching Oklahoma City games. It was apparent given that SHAI wasn't an all-star, but how many coaches do you want over Mark Dagnall right now?
None.
None. Honestly, maybe Presti's biggest mistake, if he really wanted to tank, was not going with kicking the tires on like a Nate McMillan or someone like that, like an also ran coach, to just be the bridge guy, because you can certainly lose with guys that aren't about that developmental life. And this guy, Coach Dagnall, is like putting on a show right now. It's insane. He's doing this with, obviously, like even more so than SHAI, he's dealing with a roster that is turning over almost by the day. And I'm sure he's the one that's hearing he's actually talking to Presti about what the team wants. And SHAI's like kind of isolated from all that. He doesn't have to hear like, well, here's what we'd like to do. The coach is the one actually hearing this stuff, and he's still making it happen. It's impressive. And it'll take a long time, I'm sure, before people are in tune with how good he is, but man, he's awesome.
He's really, really good. If I was the Thunder, I'd just try to hand him like a 10-year extension right now. But really, I don't think there's another coach that, not that saying he's the best coach, but Pop is, aging out. Rick Carlisle's aging out. There's other great coaches out there. But looking at what Dagnall's doing this season and seeing the kind of, character he has, and just listening to his media calls, he's just a sharp dude, and the players really like him.
Yeah.
And they really bought in. I mean, you couldn't ask for anything more. He's probably like hanging his head like, well, I gave Poku 20 shots. What else am I supposed to do?
he's probably walking back into the principal's office like, I feel like we did everything we could.
Yeah.
And they've got to have they've got to have such a laugh at some point. Like, this is all so wild and kind of out of our hands. We kind of struck gold with SHAI, and now we don't really know what to do.
I mean,
Um,
SHAI is really kind of the Thunder are having to readjust probably their entire thinking of the rebuild's timeline based on how fast SHAI's leap to superstardom has become. I mean, truly, you think that you have a few years out to build pieces and things like that and be patient. And I know that's what they want to do. That's the smart thing to do. But when you got a player this good who's going to be even better next season, you may start to think, okay, that might be why the impetus is even higher to get a great pick this season. So you can at least you need another foundational elite player next to SHAI. And then maybe after that, kind of see what happens. And you got all this cap space, maybe put some guys around them, see what you do. If it was a 4-year plan to contention again, maybe all of a sudden they're like, well, now it's a 2-year plan. I don't know. We're not privy, obviously, to those conversations, but I'm just speculating here based on how good SHAI's become in such a short amount of time. It's been unreal. Tank or not tank, it's very impressive what SHAI, Daignault, and this team has been doing. And then you wonder on the other hand, I absolutely do not think it's smart. They shouldn't and they won't go out and get like another piece at the trade deadline to improve. They're going to do the exact opposite. But then I got to think like, man, let's say that Ariza was actually playing and George Hill was back healthy and they're at a full squad. This team probably is in the play-in. I mean, they're definitely in the play-in tournament, I think, at this point. I would be surprised if they didn't. If they're in the East, I mean, they might be a 5 seed right now. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
They would
unreal.
be ninth or 10th in the East. They're 11th in the West, and they are two games behind Memphis. That's your 10 and 11, and
Well, that's just
like you and
what
like
they
you're
are like.
saying.
Yeah,
Go
I'm just
ahead.
saying, like, if they were full health and actually wanted to
No,
try to
100.
win.
You're 100, and I was gonna say, like, even without all those guys, I think they still might get there. I think it's very realistic that they get to 10. Like, it's not gonna take much more than a guy going down for Memphis. Like, in 1 week, that lead could evaporate, and Oklahoma City could be sitting there at 10 and no real path to a nosedive back down the standing. So I don't know. It's it's going to be very interesting. I don't think they want to do that. Obviously, I think they're going to try and sell off guys, but at some point, like, we've seen Presti be so. I mean, I think we all agree he's at his best when he's on the phone with other GMs. But at this deadline, I feel like he's got to be willing to take a loss in for the sake of getting off of a guy like Horford. If it means moving Hill or Muscala or any of these guys, like, I think a lot of time he's gonna wait till he knows I'm winning this deal. But a win right now might just be the ability to lose games a little easier than what you have right now.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. This you saw with Hami. Usually lately, Sam Presti, everybody talks about how he, fleeced the other team and always gets this great value back, and that's what he's known for, and he's great with it. But like you said, I don't think that's going to be so much the case this go around. It's more about, hey, like Hami probably didn't win the value in that trade necessarily. Hami's probably the better player, although you could argue because Fee over their career, they're pretty equal players, and then you got a second round pick. He fits better with what they're doing. I totally understand that trade. But normally you might think that Presti would get a bigger return for somebody like Hami. But it's more of a case of, hey, we need to get off some of these guys so that we can get a top 5 pick. I mean, and if that
Mhm.
means losing a little bit of value or not getting as much value for a guy as we normally would, that's fine. That's not as important as getting a top 5 pick this year.
Yeah, it's all about prioritizing, and I think that's where they should go. We'll see if they do it. I did want to read a tweet. This is from Justin Hickey. This was awesome. OKC scored 128 points today with a starting lineup that is making a combined $14.8 million this year. Valanciunas makes more than all five combined.
That is incredible.
Isn't that wild?
That's incredible. I mean, it's yeah, we talk about their ages all the time and career
Yeah.
games played all the time, but when you look at salaries and how little, you take away Horford and Ariza and Hill, and yeah, the player the Thunder players, they're making like 1.5. I mean, they're not making very much at all because they're either rookies, sophomores, undrafted guys, second round guys, low first rounders. I mean, it's pretty nuts when you look at it in totality of what this team is and how this team got to where they are as far as the trades they made, trading away the talent in CP3, Schroeder, Gallinari, and Adams, to getting all these kind of journeymen and cast-offs and hidden gems and rookies and sophomores. It is ridiculous that they are 17. Were they 17 and 22 now?
Mm-hmm.
That is just, I mean, and that doesn't sound like a great record, but when you look at it, how they got there and how many games all their best players have sat,
Yeah.
and the talent on this team, it's remarkable, really.
And another tweet from someone who is very clued in to all these games. Rob Perez at Worldwide Wob. OKC Thunder are a fascinating case study of tanking. They have every draft incentive to lose and are a play-in team at best. Yet they just don't stop showing promise or winning these close games. As a result, it has expedited SGA's development into an all-star talent. He said,
Yes.
"This isn't an ugh. We're just going to be in 10th place forever now. Big difference between settling for mediocrity and building something. While more times than not, franchises sell out the rebuilding process for relevancy. It really feels like OKC is the latter and an outlier."
Yeah, I like that the Thunder and SGA are finally getting some, praise from the national media. I saw Kevin O'Connor,
Yeah,
uh,
lots of Poku love.
Poku love, and then also said the SGA should have been an all-star this
Yeah,
year. Uh, I I was kind of the only. I felt like I was spamming Twitter and the Thunder media calls with SGA All Star talk. So I'm gonna hipster. SGA should have been an All Star. I've been saying it for a couple of months. I'm glad to see the national media is finally catching up to what I've been saying. They're finally catching on.
He's making it undeniable. It's another 30-point night, and like Memphis has really really solid defenders to throw at a guy like SHAI playing with a bunch of guys that they haven't seen a lot of tape on, or they just know enough about them to know that we get to key on SHAI all night. For him to get 30, like, it just reminds me of the early Durant days when like everyone knows, like, he scored 25 points for like half the season straight. Like, we're going to try and stop him and he still gets it. For him to get 30 on a night like tonight and still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 other players in double figures is amazing.
Yeah.
And let's see, Brooks was on him quite a bit. Melton, Winslow, like Winslow's a unit, and he just did so well against anybody they threw at him.
Not only that, but I saw some sort of stat the other day. SGA has the least amount of space. Like, there's some sort of spacing stat. And when you look at all the stars in the league, he has the least amount of space to work with, and he's still scoring these many points and this efficiently. Think if he had shooters around him. Think if he had a few 40% guys around him at all times, like a lot of these stars do. I mean, he's got Horford, but as much as we love Dort and Baisley, they're shrinking the court just like Robertson and Adams did. And Russ, I hate to say it, but for KD all those years. So he's not working with very much space here, and he's still scoring efficiently. He's still putting up a lot of points. So when you break it down even farther, it becomes more and more impressive what SGA is doing.
Yeah, and speaking of shooters, he had 1, 2, three, four, five shooters today over 50%. They shot the ball so well, 16 of 31 from three, 51.6% as a team. Like there were some anomalies today. They turned the ball over 24 times. They controlled the board, so they did a good job rebounding, but they turned the ball over a ton today. Specifically, Roby had 8. And it just didn't matter. Like Memphis was getting up and down the floor. Oklahoma City was missing free throws, throwing the ball away, but the 3-point line specifically kept them in the game and eventually gave them enough to get over the top.
Yeah. I just, when you look at what this team did today, I think when the starters were announced and the players who were going to rest were announced, if you would have spat out all these stats and said that SGA and some G leaguers and third stringers were going to do this, I mean, it's just not believable.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not, the Grizzlies are trying to win. They are 17-17. They're not a pushover. They're a decent team with some decent players, some good players, really. And you know, they're wanting to make the playoffs. They're in the playoff hunt in the West.
Yep.
And SGA and just a bunch of dudes went out and whipped them. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
You will see multiple shooting stars before the next time Oklahoma City wins a game where they turn the ball over 24 times against the opponents, just 7 turnovers. Memphis took 92 shots. Oklahoma City took 73. They took 19 less shots, turned the ball over 17 more times, and they won. That is almost statistically impossible to do. You have to shoot over 50% from three to even be in the game.
Yeah.
And they won by 6. I mean, and they weren't in the game until they started the fourth 7 of 8 from three. It was unbelievable.
Yeah. I've always said through this season, I keep saying that if the Thunder win on the backs of the young players because SGA looks like a star or because of the young guys stepping up and winning, those are wins that even if you want the Thunder to tank, you can accept. I never imagined that pretty much all the wins would come that way and that, you know, we'd be talking at 17-22 and saying, well, it's another good win. It was because of the, you know, SGA and another young guy. I mean, this was SGA and Poku basically. I mean, yeah, everybody contributed. And that's the thing. This team is a team. They play like a true team. Any given night, somebody can score double digits. I mean, it can be Kenrich Williams one night. It can be Justin Jackson. It can be Teo Maladone. You never know. You know, the Thunder have been a predictable team for so many years. Russ and KD were going to get 25 or 30 points a night. And then, you know, you'd have Adams contributing 8 to 10, Serge Ibaka 8 to 10. And then, you know, a couple guys to get a few points here and there. And then the Paul George years and Russ years, big points. And then the rest of them, small points. And then even last year, it was pretty predictable. The top 4 would be pretty even. This year, though, besides SGA, you can never guess which players can be the second leading scorer or the third leading scorer or the fourth leading scorer or the fifth leading scorer. It's again a testament to Daignault and to SGA and to the team buying in.
They wrap up a or a second day of a back-to-back. They're back at it on Tuesday. I believe it's Chicago. They're at Chicago. That's a 7:00 local time tip. And then Atlanta, they go to Atlanta after that. So a couple, again, winnable games this week. We'll see how they handle it. We'll see who plays. We'll see who sits. We'll see. I would imagine Dort and Maladone come back after sitting today. We'll see. But it's gonna be very interesting. Every single game, you know, they have all season, but even more so now. Like these games, every single one of them matters so much to where they will fall, and honestly, where they could potentially be playing for a possible playoff berth. So it's crazy to even say that. Like it is like a twilight zone to even say those words, but here we are. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's funny. It's reminding me of a bizarro world where normally, as the season continues and you start to see the end of the season and think, oh man, they need to win this many more games to be able to get a
Yeah.
top four seed.
Yeah.
Oh, the magic number is this. It's the opposite. You're like, oh
Yeah.
man, the season's winding down. They only have so many games left to lose this many games. Like they've already got 17 wins. They need to not go over this many amount. Like they're already getting to that point. So it's funny. It's like the opposite. I don't know. I still think Presti is going to do his best to trade away Muscala, Hill, Ariza, Horford, and get some assets back and see if he can get a top 5 pick. But I also now fully expect for SGA and 4 dudes picked from a Southwestern Bell Yellow Pages to go out and get some wins.
Totally. Totally. I mean, they could literally pull down some media members and just say, "Hey, it's you four and SHAI," and I think they'd hang tough, especially
You know
you,
what I could shoot
especially
from
you.
3 with SGA dishing to me?
That's what I'm saying. Like you're in rhythm, you're ready to go. You're in rhythm at all times.
Dude, if Poku hit 5 threes today, put me next to SHAI. Let's see what happens.
All right, we will end it there. We will talk to you on Tuesday. Thanks a lot, Brandon.
Absolutely, bud.